Okay, so Mark will be presenting the information today, and there will be times in the presentation where he will have a transition screen that will show up that says questions. So if you have questions about a particular area that he's presenting, you could wait until he gets to the transition screen to ask that question about that area of content. We'd appreciate it. And when you ask your question, we'd like to know your name, your department, not to take points off or keep track, but we would like to know the kinds of things that people are interested in or what kinds of things they're trying to do with the product. So if you can give us your name, your department, and then ask your question, and we're going to keep track because we'd like to improve the questions on the website and the frequently asked questions. Anything before we get started? Okay, well, enjoy.
So hello and welcome to CloudBearing's Office 365 End User Orientation. My name is Mark Koistinen, and I'll be your host as we walk through the tour of features available to you as a new user of Office 365. Just for the sake of ensuring that we cover the material in time, and as stated, I'm going to break at major transition points to entertain any questions, and also if we could keep the line muted in the interim, just to reduce any disruptions. So here's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn what is Office 365. We're going to learn what the components of Office 365 are, what Office 365 will mean to you and how you work, and what benefits that you're going to realize and how to use them. So what is Office 365? Well, simply put, it's the Microsoft Office you probably already know, but now it's also available in the cloud. So it's your email, tasks, calendar, contacts, and other Office applications such as Lync, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote, plus OneDrive, your new online hard drive, all available online from anywhere and on any device. When you're away from your desk, as long as you have an internet connection, be it on a PC, a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone, even if it's an Apple iPhone or an Android tablet, doesn't matter, you have fast and easy access to all of your Office resources as if you were at the office. See, with Office 365, you'll also experience deep integration and connectivity across your different Office applications as they work together better than ever before. You'll have fast and easy sharing, real-time collaboration on files, one-click connection with contacts, online conferencing, instant virtual meetings, and two-way screen sharing. You'll also experience anytime, anywhere, any device accessibility to all of those resources that you need. So why do I need Office 365 if I already have Microsoft Office? Well, though Office 365 can be a standalone solution, and it is for many, for most organizations it's meant to augment the Office environment you already have and the one you know, allowing greater flexibility and mobile accessibility for remote environments. Again, when you're away from your desk or your primary computer. Today's work environment is so much more mobile than ever. We need to be accessible. We need to have access to the files and the resources that we need to do our jobs or perform our tasks that are important to us. All right, we keep talking about the cloud. So notice that we mention the cloud a lot. Well, what is that? The cloud is really a metaphor for the internet. In other words, it's a network of servers that are hosted somewhere else. And they allow you to do various things such as store files or check your email, even play games. See, these are called web apps, and they're served over the internet, or in this case, the cloud. The cloud is that medium which allows all of this to happen. These web apps being hosted elsewhere don't need to be installed on our computers necessarily because we use our internet browser to access and use them, just like Microsoft does with Office 365. So then we've shared some of the benefits that we might realize using Office 365. Now let's look at the actual components that make up Office 365 for USM. While there's the Outlook web app, which is also called OWA or OA, we often just call it the portal. And in that, you'll find Exchange Online. Exchange Online is your Outlook. So that's your calendar, it's your email, your calendar, your people, and your tasks all together. And by the way, everything is synced. So anything you do on your local Outlook, on your primary Outlook account, is going to reflect in the Office 365 portal. So the Outlook web app, if you send an email from your regular Outlook, you'll see it in Office 365. Now it also includes SharePoint, which at this time is marked for future development. Just keep a note of that. And the date is yet to be determined. But within that, and part of SharePoint, is something called OneDrive. All of you will have access to that. OneDrive is your personal hard drive in the cloud. A lot like Dropbox or Box.com, if you guys are familiar with those applications. OneDrive is the place you can store, share, and sync your work files for access from anywhere and accessibility, peace of mind. You're also going to have access to Lync Online. Lync is Microsoft's unified communication solution. More on that in a little bit. Lync is a game changer. A lot of these things are going to be really different for you. We also have Office Online. Office Online is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. Hey, but now it's available from anywhere on any device, and I don't have to have the software anymore. You don't have to have that software loaded on that computer or device anymore to not only open, access, and view it, but to edit it and to share it. Those applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote, are now available from anywhere because they're served over the cloud as web apps. We'll also have access to Office 365 Pro Plus. What that means is you'll always have the latest and greatest version of all these applications that you see over here on the right. Alright, keep in mind that everything we cover today is available as a mobile app and can be accessed on any device that can get on the internet. Microsoft has gone platform agnostic, now allowing most of the Office 365 services to be available on all types of phones, tablets, and computers. The one exception might be RIM, which is BlackBerry. Not everything would be available on that device. But all the other services, all the other platforms you can, as long as you can get to the internet and you have a browser. Okay, so now we're talking about the portal. We're going to start talking and show off the portal. Again, that's the Outlook web app, also called OWA or OA. To get to that, you guys would use www.outlook.com/usm.edu, like you see right up here in the top right with this red circle. You might want to make a note of that. That's how we're going to access the portal from wherever we are, even again if it's on your phone. Now once you get here, you're going to log in with the email and password that you use to get into Outlook, and you click sign in. Let me show you. This is the actual splash screen for logging in. And you'll see I have this test account with my email and my password ready to go, and I just click sign in. Now the Outlook web app loads. Remember, I can be anywhere. I could be home, computer, at my friend's house, or in a vacation home. Even if it's a Mac, it won't matter because it's not about the platform anymore. It's just about having internet access because we're using the cloud. Guys, this is the Outlook web app. Notice that it looks very similar to most email systems we've used in the past. You have your folders over here on the left. You have all your emails listed right here in chronological order, but I can sort by other things. But by default, it's with the most recent up top. And without even clicking anything, it usually defaults to the latest email. And look, just right over here, I have a summary pane, so I can actually scroll through the email and read the entire thing without even really having to open it. So you don't have to double click to open an email anymore. Not only can I read this, but I can engage with it. I can reply all, forward. And I want you to note that within Office 365 and Office 2013, anywhere you see these three dots, that ellipsis, you have a lot more. It just means more, and you have, like in this case, a lot of different things that you can do to engage with this email. So I can reply to, for instance, all of these people by way of instant message. More on that in a little bit. That's Lync. I can delete, categorize, mark as junk, or print, and I can create a rule that's contextual to this email. So maybe from Jennifer, for instance. So it's a rule that I can do from here rather than going through the sprocket and going to the back end and starting fresh from scratch. All right. So notice here we also have an attachment. But one thing I want you to note is attachments are really a thing of the past, and I'll show you why. Attachments are bad for a number of reasons. We'll talk about it when we get into OneDrive. So notice that, again, it's not very different from email systems. Let's talk about what it is. Well, one, notice there's no ribbon. So if we're used to using Outlook, again, there's no ribbon, so I don't have those controls. Well, I don't really miss it. Now remember, Office 365 is really dedicated to your use when you're away from your primary PC. So it's meant to be streamlined. It's meant to be friendly on multiple screen sizes, different, large or small, and it's meant to be very accessible and fast. So again, that functionality follows me around like right here. Now I do have this universal navigation bar, and it's universal in that no matter where I go, that bar is always up at the top. But my navigation is up here in the top left by these tile systems. By the way, this is brand new. So one of the great advantages of Office 365 is Microsoft ships updates on a regular basis, and they're going to ship changes as improvements as they come out, and you're going to experience them in small, manageable chunks rather than huge version changes, like maybe a 2016 of Office coming out. What happens is these are just more manageable chunks of updates. And in this particular case, here's the navigation. Just by clicking on this tile, this is the Metro tile system. And you can see I have my Outlook, calendar, people, and tasks. These are all elements, and look, you can move these around. I like putting these together because these are all elements of Exchange Online. Really, Exchange Online is just what you guys are used to using as Outlook, calendar, people, and tasks. Now, OneDrive, again, is that element of SharePoint. And as that, it's your private space. So everybody has their personal space where they can store their files, like your Dropbox. It's just hosted by the organization, but it's your space. Nobody else can get into your OneDrive unless you choose to share that space, a particular file or a folder, with others. Then we talked about, remember, Office Online? Well, that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. So imagine that I'm on a Mac that's never seen a Microsoft product in its life, and I'm at a vacation home. And maybe I have to do something as an emergency. I have to do some kind of work or work on some project. All I have to do is really just come in here, through a browser, come to my portal. And again, this is a Mac. It may not have Word or any Microsoft products on it at all. And I click on this, and it's going to open Word Online. So not only and then it's going to open a brand new file. So I can actually create brand new content, and from there I can actually save it. I can keep it. Actually, I don't have to hit save, but it will stay in my cloud, in the cloud, in my portal, and it'll be in my OneDrive actually. And from there I can share it. More on that in a little bit. All right. So we talked about what's different here. Hey, there's another new change that was just made. I want to show you over here. You see this? It's called groups. So you have your folders, and you have this thing called groups. Now this is really interesting. Again, when I say brand new, I mean brand new. This is a very new feature, and I'm still actually figuring out how to use it because Microsoft hasn't released all of the different features that are ultimately going to be experienced by way of this group. But let me show you. So I have these different groups. I have two of them, Academic Dean and this 2015 Spring CSC 2003. So I'm 203, which is a computer science class. So this is a group that we've created. If I click on this, see what it does is it allows us to create a group. And once you create that group, you can title it whatever you want. You can even upload like a logo or an image or something like that. And you can save files to it. You can share calendars, emails. What happens is all those elements of Exchange Online, Outlook, calendar, people, and tasks, all of these things become a shared element for all the people that we share this group with. All right, let me explain. So if we were going to create a group, here's how you would do it. You would just choose a name for that group, add a description for it. You can choose whether it's a public group, meaning anybody can see it, or it could be a private, a closed group, and only certain members can have access to it. Now that means that you're going to invite certain people, and then you hit create. Now once you do so, you'd come over here, you could see this ellipses, and you'll see all the different elements of my group. What this is like an Exchange hosted common place for us to collaborate and share. And when I say collaborate and share, I'm talking about conversations, because right here I can make a little post and I can send messages, and this is going to interact with people's emails, but this is one place that we can go to see all these things. It's still an Exchange. Now also I can have a shared calendar. So all this is I'm actually now in my Outlook calendar, but now you can see that I also have groups. This is my calendar, but I also have these groups here. And I also have members. So I can see all the members that we've invited, and we can add members at any time. You just simply type in their email address, start typing their name, and Active Directory, organization's Active Directory will automatically feed that. And now we have files. So any files that are shared by way of our group, they're stored within here. Now this is actually a separate room, and it's really part of OneDrive. This will not be part of your OneDrive. It's a place that's dedicated to the group, and any file you share will be in here. Hey, I don't want to go through this too much because I'm going to show you how OneDrive works, because that's where this lives, and we'll do that later. Let's go back to our home and now look at Outlook. Now we understand just how these groups work. It's actually very simple, and again, it's brand new. I recommend that you just play around with using it. Let's go back to this email. We talked about looking at the things that are different. Well, you'll notice that next to each person's name, there's a little box. And notice right up here, this is me. Now, by the way, all of your images will be auto-loaded. The university will load those images for you, so you'll have their profile pictures there. But every time you see somebody's name and or picture, you'll have this sliver of color, if it's a photo, to the left of it. And now there's one here, you just can't see it because it's white. Unfortunately, these people aren't connected by way of link right now. Well, Caitlin is. These are elements of link. Each of these boxes, again, everywhere you see somebody's name, you will see a color. Well, what does that color mean? What it is it's called presence. And it's one of the 3 big dimensions of value that link provides. We're going to start talking about link right now just because it's so important. Everywhere you go in Office 365 in 2013 that you see somebody's name listed, whether it's an email, even if they're CC'd, you'll see this presence. This is going to indicate what their availability is at the moment, meaning are they logged into Link and available for you to reach out and talk to them by way of these different methods through this unified communication solution. All right, let's actually talk about Link in more depth. So Link, again, is described by Microsoft as a unified communication solution. Link is, as such, it unifies many methods of communication into a single app, allowing for instant meetings online, audio and video conferencing using voice over IP, instant messaging colleagues with a single click, web conferencing, webinars, and more. If you guys have used Skype, it's the same premise. In fact, Microsoft also owns Skype, and just as a heads up, in 2015, we will see Link turn into Skype for Business. In your case, it'd be Skype for Organizations, same thing. But it's going to be a Skype account, and it's really going to allow us to connect with anybody anywhere using Link or Skype or what have you at that point. Link is a communications tool, but it's also a productivity app. I like to think of it as an add-on or an extension to Outlook, allowing for so many new ways to connect with and communicate with our contacts. Link is integrated with many other applications in Office 365 as well. This means that connecting and sharing with others is fast, it's easy, and as the functionality and accessibility follows you around wherever you are in Office and Office 365. See, in fact, even when away from the office, Link is not only accessible and allows you to be always connected, but it's easy to use and available when traveling about, as long as you have a device connected to the internet. So you can have Link as a mobile app on your smartphone or your tablet, and you can still show up as green. That color green highlights you as available. Everyone sees, whenever somebody sees your name, whether it's through an email or they're going to their Link app because they want to find you, and maybe they have you saved as one of their contacts, they'll see what your current availability is by that color. All right. Let's actually go through the walkthrough. I want to show you Link in action. So I'm going to show you Link in my Office 365. Now that's because I have my Office 365 is working, and I'm actually connected to other people. I have Brandon, Chaz, Michael Wu and Sally. You can see some people aren't logged in. Some people are. I can see who's green and available right now and who's not. And these are even not just the people that are connected right off. And look, I can click on anybody's name and I can engage by way of instant message or email. Now sometimes, for some reason, it's not showing up now, but often just by hovering over somebody's name, a link dialog box will open and allow me the different bubbles to connect with them. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go into Office 2013. Now I'm going to open my full version of Office 2013. Again, I'm not in Office 365. I'm in Office 2013. This is my account, guys. So here's an email from my coworker, Brandon St. Laurent. Now, by the way, he's in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm in the D.C. area. Now, you can see that he sent me this email. He's currently green. Well, remember, that means he's available. Now, I can also see that he's video capable because Link knows that he has a video camera on his computer. And I also even see his title. I can also connect with him immediately by way of IM, voice over IP, again like a Skype call, but we're using the internet. There's no phone involved. So we're just having audio conversation just like you and I are right now, but using the web. And we also have the option for HD video because he is video capable. I can also email him from here, or I can view his full contact card and see all of this information. I can also do this, by the way, with any of the people CC'd on this email. Notice I just hover over Michael Wu. I see he's also available, and I can reach out through these same methods. Hey, here's my coworker, Sally. And you can see that Sally, oh, here we go. So, oh boy. There we go. So, sorry, I got something open in the back here. Hold on. All right, there we go. So I hover over Sally, and you can see that she's currently busy. She's in a call, free until 2 p.m., whatever that means. She's the operations coordinator. So here's this example that I'm actually within Outlook. I'm not even in Link. This is one of the great things what we talked about. We talked about integration. See, Link's integrated with Outlook. There tend to be one. It's like an add-on. See, Outlook has been great because it allows us to email and calendar items and things like that, and it's done a very good job of that. Hey, but wouldn't it have been nice if Outlook all this time would allow us to instant message and voice over IP and HD video with people and share screens with them and all these other things? That would have been amazing. It does it now. So all I have to do is just hover over Brandon, hit the instant message box. It opens up this box. It's on my other screen. Let me pull it over. Immediately it opens this up, and I can say, I can actually reach out to Brandon. Now again, Brandon's in Raleigh. Now he's a support guy. He's pretty busy. But look at that. Brandon St. Laurent is typing a message. I love that instant gratification. What I mean is, I sent him this IM. Look how fast that is. And with this great distance between us, he immediately, as soon as he engages with that message, see it pops up in the bottom right hand of his screen. As soon as he engages with it, it lets me know. That way I know, oh, okay, it allows me to be more patient. For instance, if nothing happens, I don't see that he's engaging with it, well, that means he's not seeing it. And that tells me after a little while, I'm like, well, you know what, it says he's available, but he's not really paying attention, or maybe he's got his back to his computer or something like that. And he hasn't maybe updated his status. But because it had that, it let me know. So now I'm more patient, and I get that kind of instant gratification feeling. Now, he immediately instant messages me back. It doesn't matter where Brandon is. You see, I'm actually more connected with Brandon, who's in Raleigh, while with me in D.C., than 2 years ago without Link if we were in the same office. Because how would I know what Brandon's availability is unless I was within eyesight of him or sat next to him? I'd have to. What we did was we pick up a phone and call, and I get a voicemail, and that doesn't really help me. I still don't know anything, right? And maybe I can get up and walk over to his office, and for a lot of us, that's not a luxury we have. But if I could, even then, if I went there, maybe he got up to go get a cup of coffee. You see what I mean? I'm having a really difficult time just reaching out and connecting with Brandon and asking him a simple question or making a statement. For the organization like this, is a lot like texting. It's a selfish form of communication, but in a wonderful way. So, by the way, this call now, this connection I have with him, you saw how fast that was. It's running. So at any time, all I have to do is just engage with it. Whether it's this box I have open or I can close it, it doesn't matter, because you saw how fast and easy it is for me to engage with Brandon. And guess what? I haven't even opened the Link app yet. I haven't even showed that to you yet. I'm only showing you how Link works within Outlook. So, but keep in mind that, and this is one of the great things about Link, because we talked about these multiple dimensions of value. There are 3 big ones. Really, we've introduced 2. One is the most obvious, and that's the ability to connect with people by way of IM, voice over IP, HD video. The second is this presence. Hey, sometimes I think that's even the most important, because it's something we never had before. I can always reach out and connect with people, but now I know what their availability is. And remember, it doesn't matter where they are. Because does it matter to me where Brandon is? What matters to me is that I can reach out and connect with him, and he'll respond. But I see his presence, so I know that he's even available to respond to me. That's really important. Now, that third dimension of value we talked about, we're coming up to that. But in the meantime, let's talk about how a call can evolve as we need it to. So in this particular instant message, I might realize, oh, you know what, this is just a little too complicated. Hey, Brandon, can I call you? So I would instant message, do you mind if I call? And he'd say, no problem. So I'd hit this bubble with the phone, and his computer would ring, or his device. He would answer, and now we're engaged in just like a phone call, but it's using the internet, just like Skype. Now, at some point, when we decide, oh, you know what, Brandon, check out this thing I have here. I want to show you. So maybe I want to hold it up in front of the video. So all I have to do is hover over this camera, and if my video is enabled, I'd see a preview of myself. So I can check out my hair, make sure it looks nice, and then it'd start my video. And then he'd be able to see me. Now we've engaged, remember, now we're talking in audio, and we can see each other by way of video. Now let's say the call progresses, and now you know what? Hey Brandon, I need to show you something on my screen. All we have to do is go to this next bubble, and now we start getting into that third dimension of value, and that's web conferencing, screen sharing, webinars, like we're doing right now. Right now I'm using Link to share with you guys. In fact, let's open the session we're in. Let me pull it over. Let's minimize everything else so we can focus on what we're looking at. This right here is no different than that session I just had with Brandon. The only difference was that one had an instant message box, but so could this. I just instant message you guys, and hello. That actually goes to Marion. That's going to that PC that you guys are watching the screen is connected to. But this is no different than that other session. The only thing that would make it different is maybe I scheduled it ahead of time versus an impromptu by me reaching out to Brandon. And I did so because I have a web link that I can send out to people as a calendar invite for a future date. Set up a future date, a specific time, and then that person, all they have to do is click that link. And guess what? They don't have to have Link. You can set up a future date meeting, even if it's 1 minute from now, by sending that link out to anyone in the world. As long as they can get on the internet, they can engage with you by way of Link through a meeting just like this. Now that connection I had with Brandon, that was by way of Link. We are connected. We are colleagues. Now, more on that in a little bit. But let's go back to this window. We talked about instant message, then voice over IP, then HD video. Now we're talking about screen sharing. We're talking about presenting things. Like right now, I'm sharing my secondary monitor with you. I have 2. Now, if I didn't have 2, I'd only see the option for 1. Now, I'm sharing this one because I want to see you, and I want you to see the entire screen for a richer presentation. Now, I do have other options, though. I could share a particular program. So if I click on Programs, notice it actually shows me all the programs that I have open. What I can do is select any of these. Like if I wanted to share Spotify with you, you would only see what's within the window of that application if I click on that, which means you wouldn't see the rest of my screen. Only what's within Spotify, or an Excel spreadsheet, or a web page, what have you. Now, also, I have other options. I can show just a PowerPoint presentation for a richer presentation experience, and that would also allow people to mark with annotations and move about the PowerPoint on their own. Maybe it's about a presentation that I'm showing, like maybe I had a full slide deck, and that's what I'm focused on the entire time. This one's really neat. This is a whiteboard. What this is this is a digital whiteboard, like we would have a whiteboard, like say in a conference room. The difference is it's digital, it's online, and we can all be in it at the same time, all real-time collaboratively writing in it, drawing in it, creating symbols and checkboxes, and talking through Link like we are right now while we're writing in it. It's a simple whiteboard, very simple, with simple controls, and when you're done, you can save that to your computer. Better yet, you can send that to OneNote as a notebook. More on OneNote later, but OneNote is a lot like this whiteboard, but imagine multiply it by 1,000 in capabilities. And that's what OneNote is. Again, more on that later. And then you can also create a poll. This allows you to take the pulse from a group, ask some questions, and get some unbiased feedback, and then you can get the results of those. Other things you can do is you can actually share a OneNote notebook right from Link, which is really nice. So I don't have to go to OneNote to do it. And again, more on that later. OneNote is like that whiteboard. It's just like having a digital whiteboard space, but sometimes they're private. In fact, they are all private unless I choose to share a OneNote notebook with somebody else. But once I do, we are in a very rich environment that we can engage with each other collaboratively. Or I can open a private notebook that nobody else would see, so I can take notes while this meeting is going on. Another thing I can do is send attachments, as many as I want. And once I share them, they're in this little room. I can see all the attachments that we're sharing. Maybe we're going to share a syllabus or, some Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Now, we talked about how this call, this connection can evolve. There's still another button. There's more. Right here, we may find that after we're having this conversation, you and I, and we're talking about something rather important, we realize it's getting kind of technical, or it's getting it's getting more technical, and we need to invite somebody like an engineer or somebody from IT, or maybe somebody who's a subject matter expert on this particular topic, or just anybody. It doesn't matter. What we do is we come to this last bubble and we hit invite more people. I can go out and find through all of my colleagues, I can search for anybody in all of USM, or go and look through my colleagues that I have saved, my contacts, and I can bring them in and see their link presence before trying to do so. So at any point we can invite as many people as we want in. So we can invite many people. And we can have a prearranged meeting. Maybe this webinar has 100 of you in it. And we would see 100 tiles, by the way. Well, after there's so many, they start to consolidate, and you won't see actually 100 tiles. But if there were 20 people, we'll see 20 tiles, just like I see you right here. For every instance of somebody joining a meeting, there will be an individual tile. Let's say that Marion, and you can tell because there's an image of a person, Marion came in using the link. So she's coming in using her computer to connect to the meeting. Now, I happen to have an audio bridge, and if something like that does exist, that creates another instance. I don't think you guys are going to have that, but that allows somebody to use a phone call. So everything's going to be web-based. So you're going to coming in just through this web link. For each person coming in, each connection in, there's going to be a separate tile, and you'll see all of those here. Now, another way to see them is just to come here, and you'll see all the participants in this meeting. All right. Let's take that third dimension of value. Remember we talked about screen sharing and web conferencing. Let's take it to the next level. Right here under actions. Imagine we're going to do a full-on webinar. I'm scheduling a webinar and it's with the general public. Maybe it's with all of the history students within a particular group or something, and we're going to create some kind of online webinar, slated for next week, and on whatever topic that is. I can do so. I schedule that out and I share the link. And I can, by the way, I could share that link by way of just copying and pasting my web link onto a web page. Or I can send it out as a calendar invite to everybody if I wanted to. It doesn't matter how you get to it. All they do is click on that link and they'll come into this session. But look at these controls that I have. I can mute the entire audience just to reduce any interruptions. Maybe my webinar is all about me talking, not about you talking at all. So I can mute the entire audience. I can even turn off instant messaging so people can't instant message each other. Or me. I can turn off video so we don't crush the bandwidth of this meeting, because what if everybody tried to use video? Hiding people's names from each other. Hey, because remember, it's a public webinar. It's not about them seeing each other. Maybe that wouldn't be appropriate. So these different kinds of actions are available, allowing you to actually use this in the place of something like GoToMeeting or WebEx, if you know those other services. In fact, I want to tell you, in my 1.5 years doing this, I have not once used any other service for Link, such as GoToMeeting or WebEx, unless somebody else has scheduled something through those. I use Link exclusively for these purposes. Now, don't go get rid of all these other services if you use them. Try it out first to make sure that it can do the things that you need it to do. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're looking at here. Now, this is the session that we're in, and it tells us a lot just by looking at it. One, you can see that I'm presenting my screen. I can stop at any time, and I did that, remember, by coming here and I'm presenting my secondary monitor. When I click on that, that's what happens. It's presenting. Now I can stop. I can hang up the call altogether. We'll no longer be connected. I can see what my network quality is, kind of like cellular service on your phone, right? These bars. Right now it's very good. You can see how long I've been in the session. This isn't how long you've been in the session. This is how long I've been in the session. I started early. I can see how many participants are in. Well, these are how many people have joined the session. Remember these tiles. It's me and Marion's login. And then also you could see that I'm recording this session. You can see people who are recording me. I can pause it, I can stop it. But when I started the recording, I did it by clicking this ellipses, and there's a control called Start Recording, which I don't see anymore because I did. Now there's pause and stop. And it's that simple. And that's saved to my computer, and I can always manage those recordings, the ones I'm doing right now or any I've done in the past, by hitting Manage Recordings. And what's so convenient about this is it creates a recording manager. It's one place that I can go to see all my recordings, what their statuses are, the dates I did them, their size, their length, and guess what? Where it's stored on my computer. I can hit play, I can browse for them, publish them, rename them, and delete them all from here. And I didn't even have to go into my hard drive to do it. I did it right here from my Manage Recordings. All right. Whoever's doing the talking has a light blue bar under their sound. So if there was a sound coming from you guys, I would see a light blue bar appear at that sound at that particular time when that sound was made. Let's say that you're having a big meeting, and you know, Marion here, she joined in, and maybe she joined in using a phone or whatever. Maybe she's even on the web, but she's making a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise, and I know who it is because I could see that blue bar just like that underneath. And let's say that's becoming a problem. It's becoming disturbing to our session, particularly if I'm recording it. Well, all I have to do is right-click and mute Marion. Now, you guys right now are muted. Let's unmute you, though. Now, it's that simple. Now, let's say that Marion was actually being unruly. Oh, no. We can actually kick her out of the session altogether by hitting remove. Maybe Marion's not supposed to even be in this session. Hey, and that's possible. Here, more on that in a moment. I can also, though, if I want Marion to be part of this, I can make her a presenter so she can move her mouse on my screen. She could be part of my presentation, participating in it. By the way, if I'm connected with Marion and she also has Link, at any time she can choose to show her screen. And we can take turns by using the same control. This one, or whatever you want to share. It's that simple. Guys, there's no more complication to what this is than what I showed you. This is it. I've shown you all the controls and how simple it is to engage. Everywhere through Link, you're going to see these bubbles, and these are the bubbles that you use to engage. And again, it's that progression, so it's easy to remember. Now, I told you that it's possible that somebody else can come into this session and they're not supposed to be here. And the reason how that can happen is this. If I click on this ellipsis, hey, remember ellipses mean more, and those are good things, so you always want to take a look over there. Everybody has their own Link account. Each and every one of you. You have one. You have one link. There's like an address. And you share that with others, and they can use that to come into your Link session. You can host a Link session anytime you like. And you can use all these controls I just showed you with anyone in the world They don't have to have link. Problem is, what if I shared that link with somebody yesterday and then they somehow click on that and they want to come into my meeting today, but they're not invited to this meeting? Well, you only have one account, you only have one link, they're going to come into this session. Okay, well, there's options. For instance, right here it says link meeting options. You click on that, and right here what you can do is you can create a lobby. And I had that for you guys today. So what happens was, whenever somebody clicks on the link to come into the session, they don't come right into the session if I have a lobby created. They sit in a holding room until I admit them. And I'll see, hey, somebody is waiting in the lobby. It'll tell me how many people, and it will give me the choice to go and look at the lobby and see who they are. I'll see your name. But these are the controls for that lobby. You can make a lobby so that everyone but you has to go in the lobby, or me and only the people I invite to this meeting can come in without going into the lobby, or everything all the way up to everyone can come in without sitting in my lobby. So these are the different choices I have. So I have a lot here. Now also, this is pretty interesting. If you're still kind of worried about people jumping in your meeting, right here all you have to do is click on this announce when people enter or leave, because by doing that, when Sue joins the meeting and Sue's not supposed to be there, it'll say, link will say, and everyone will hear it, Sue has joined the meeting. Now it'll also say that Sue has left the meeting. So just keep in mind that control is there, and that's how that works. Guys, we just trained on all of this, and guess what? We haven't even opened Link yet. This is just how Link integrates with where we are. This right down here is Link. If I hover over the Link app, you see this L? By the way, I suggest if you guys have access to it, everybody go to their computer after this training session, open Link for the first time, log in, and pin it to your taskbar. You right-click it, hit pin to your taskbar, and leave it there forever. See, it shows my presence. So I always see what my presence is. Just by hovering over it, I can see all the sessions I'm in. Remember that one with Brandon? Here's the one with you. And here's the Link app itself. Here's yet another way for me to choose the different forms of presence. Let's click on Link and open it. All right. I'm going to bring it up here. Now this is my link. This is my personal link because it's real. In our test account or demo account, that there's not a real link presence there. Excuse me. So here you can see that it's me, Mark. I'm currently red. Remember, that means busy. So I can either be available, busy, meaning, hey, you can still reach out to me. I just don't know if I'm going to get to you. That's what busy means. Do not disturb means I don't want to be disturbed. And guess what? You can't disturb me. Because if you try to instant message me or call me while I'm in the status, it will not disturb my session. But I'll see a record of it when I'm done. I'll see that you tried to reach out to me. I want to relay this to you. I don't think there's ever a bad reason or time to instant message someone. I don't care what status they're in. Even if they're off work or away or be right back or do not disturb, because if they're on do not disturb, it will not disturb them. If they're busy, let them choose whether they're going to answer you or not. And if they're away, when they come back, they'll see that you tried to contact them when you were away, or when they were away. And that's what these mean. So be right back means, hey, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee, or I'm just running over to somebody's desk, or something like that. When you come back, usually 9 out of 10 times when you move your mouse around, it just turns green automatically on its own. Off work means that. I'm just entirely not here. Or appear away is maybe I'm going to lunch. I'll be back in a little bit. Something like that. Now, when you sign in, you just use your same login that you use for Outlook or the portal. You're using your email and your password, the same ones. Now, this, again, is Link. These are all my contacts. When you come in here for the first time, you're not going to have anybody. There'll be nobody here. All you have to do is just add them. I'm going to show you how simple that is. And by the way, remember, I recommend that everybody go and log in the Link for the first time, pin it to your taskbar, and think of at least one person that you would like to connect with this fast and this easy. Somebody's out there that you want to be able to talk to. Whoever that person is, maybe it's Brian. Come up here to this box where it says find someone. Click in it. Type the first letter of their first or last name. Hey, that's going to be a lot of people for USM. How many B's do you think there are? So maybe you want to go and actually say Brian. All right, then I go, oh, well, there's Brian. Here's Brian Kynick. I want to add him. And guess what? He's in Link. He's just currently in a conference call, like right now. Hey, what if I didn't want to add him? I just wanted to reach out and talk to him. But I don't want him in my contacts. Well, this is what you would do. And I can instant message, voice over IP call, HD video, see his contact card, send an email, schedule a meeting with him. Remember, we said that Link is like an extension of Outlook. I could do all of these, but also I can add him to my favorites or add him to any other contact list that I have. And I can create different groups. Let me show you what I mean. So now you know how to add somebody. It's that simple, right? You hit the letter, you just right-click, and you can add to favorites or to some particular contact list if you have them. Hey, remember, you're not going to have any at first. Just add them to your favorites now. You can always move them later. But if you did want to create different groups, maybe you could, all you have to do is come over here to this add a contact, this guy with the plus sign, click on that, and create a new group. Call it whatever you like, and then you'll have different groups just like I do. Other contacts, SharePoint, SMB, see how I have different groups? And you can sort your colleagues, your contacts, however you like. And look at all these things I see about them. Remember we talked about presence? So look, right now, this is nice. I have a lot of people who are currently available. If I wanted to reach out and talk to somebody, look, all my favorites are available right now. I can see Rick, he's working from home today. You know what? I can see Susan, she's in Asheville, North Carolina. I can also see that, Brian Kynick, he's in the meeting. I do have him. I can see Michael Wu's going to take lunch at 12:45. Scott Midgley, he's been inactive for 5 minutes. You know what, though? He's using Link from a mobile device right now. Look at all these things that I can see. And you know how I get that? Well, first, you can see here that I'm currently red, busy, and in a conference call. I didn't do that. Link knows that I'm in a call with you right now, and it automatically, by default, puts me in a conference call and red, busy. I can change that, though. All I have to do is just make myself available. Hey, maybe I'm not doing all the talking. I'm really doing a lot of listening in this meeting. There's no reason why people can't instant message me, because instant message allows for multitasking. It's a great thing. So, but what if I am in a training, so let's make myself busy, and let's tell everybody what I'm doing. You see right here, it says what's happening today. I want to tell everybody doing a training. Maybe I want to share with everybody how I feel today. Or where I am. Aha. Where I am. Remember, it doesn't really matter where I am. Hey, but it might be important to let people know. Set your location. You can set all kinds of custom locations if you want. You could say, you can have one saved for working from home, working from the office, or traveling. Those are 3 good ones. And then you can just select those anytime. Just like Rick, he's got one selected, working from home office. Or Susan has one for Asheville. Now, it's as simple as that. Remember our presence. There's so many different ways to engage with presence. Because remember, even in here, your presence is right here. All I have to do is click on the image. This is the portal, Office 365. I can change my presence at any time. So now we understand how to use presence, how to engage with others. If I wanted to engage with Caitlin, I can instant message her just like that and start typing away. And she'll see it immediately. If I change my presence, everyone sees that change immediately. Like, there's a very good chance one of these greens, while we're still talking, is going to turn to another color, because these people are very busy people. So now also you can see that I'm sorting by my contacts. But guess what? I can also sort by conversations. See, Link saves all the conversations I've had, like this one I had with Brandon right here. If I wanted to, what I can do is I can reopen an old call and start it with Brandon from that old conversation. I don't need to. I can just start a brand new one. And most of the time that's what I do. But what if I wanted to create context? Maybe it's about what we were talking about back then. Well, I can do that. More importantly, though, I can go back and see what was said. And also I can see all the meetings I have today. Because remember, it integrates with Outlook. In fact, when I say it integrates with Outlook, I want to show you something. Your conversation history is also an element of Outlook. See right down here in the bottom left? Conversation history. Here's that instant message I just had with Brandon. It's in my Outlook. See, I don't have to go to Link. Remember, it's all integrated. Link is with me. In fact, I can reach out with Brandon right here, remember? And pick up in the conversation right where I am. or Caitlin, or anybody else for that matter. All right, let's close that. So now we're back in the link. We're almost finished here. But I wanted to point out, too, because a lot of us use Skype, or maybe, I think you're going to love Link. And that's why I think everybody should go get on Link immediately. Now, once you do, you're going to want to connect with other people who have Link. But guess what? You're probably going to want to connect with other people who don't have Link, right? Because Link is awesome. But wouldn't it be great if everybody else had Link? Well, they kind of do. Because you can always add a contact not in your organization, and they can use Skype. The only feature not available as you interact between Link and Skype is HD video right now. But remember, in 2015, this year, Skype for Business is coming. This will all become just Skype, but it'll work pretty much the same way. It'll be nice and clean and easy to use. It'll be a nice transition for you. But now what happens is ubiquity of communication will become so much closer to reaching that, because how many people have Skype? And Skype is free. Anybody can open a Skype account, and we can all connect immediately, easily, and see each other's presence. That's going to be an important time when that happens. So just keep in mind, add a new contact or add a contact not in my organization, hit Skype, and then you can put in their Skype address, and you can add them. They'll live here. They'll just be using Skype. You'll be using Link, but you'll use the same controls. Everything will be the same. Now, to get into the back end, you just hit the down arrow, and you can do things like look at tools to mess around with your audio device. Like maybe I want to change what microphone I'm using. My microphone obviously is working, because maybe I need to troubleshoot it, because you could see it working right there. I could change these things, my video, and what alerts and ringtones I have, and things like that. So these are all kinds of controls in the back end. You can get to it from the picture by clicking on your picture as well. Remember, your picture will be auto-loaded, but this is just an easier, faster way to get to all these controls. And last thing, let's say you want to test the recording, but you don't want to do it in a real meeting, just come over here to the sprocket, hit the down arrow, and hit Meet Now. It's going to open a link session, and there just won't be anybody in it but you. And if you want to, you can hit Record Now and test out how it sounds using your microphone. And you can share your screen too, and you can see what it looks like. Just keep that in mind. All right. Let's entertain any questions. Does anybody have any questions about Link, about anything I've shown you today? I have one more thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to set up a Link session to schedule one for a future date, but when we go back into the portal. But anything else? Do we have any questions about how to use Link or how you might use Link? Okay, I'm going to continue. We'll have time for questions later if nobody has any questions at the moment. Link, remember, I recommend that everybody go and log into it and pin it to your taskbar right away. Let's go back into the portal. So now we understand what we're seeing when we see these colors everywhere, like Caitlin, who's currently away, or all these other people, these boxes. Now they're not in Link yet, these people. But now we understand, and presence, how I can change that. Hey, and this is not just in my emails. It's also going to be in OneDrive. It's everywhere in Office 365 and 2013.
Mark.
Yes.
We were muted, and we didn't know it, but we do have a question about Link.
Go ahead.
Carlos, so school construction. My question is, if you do set the meeting with, be able to, like, WebEx last month, just call into the meeting?
Did you hear his question?
No, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Similar to WebEx, will you allow, will people be allowed to actually call into the meeting without having Link or Skype or provide a number to call into?
You would have to provide them with the link to the meeting.
Yeah, actually, let me show you that now. What you would do is, let's say we're going to do it from Outlook, and probably most often we're going to be using our local Outlook to do it. You would just hit your calendar and just, start like a new meeting. And when a new meeting opens, you'll see this control, link meeting. Click on that, and there's your link. This is what people would click to come into the session. Now, they can click at any time. The only difference is I'm telling them, oh, we'll come in this time. And these are all the same controls for setting up a meeting. The only thing different here is that button and it loading this particular link. But it's that simple to do. And to do it from the portal, too, you would go into your calendar like this, open up a new meeting, and all you have to do is just double click in it like this. You see it says online meeting? Click on that. Now this is from the portal. Like, let's say you're not at your desk, and see it right here? That's the link meeting. And remember, they don't have to have link. It's just like that WebEx or GoToMeeting. You're hosting it. You're sending it to them. Now, most of it's like if they're using Microsoft, if they have Windows, for instance, or they're using Office, they probably have Silverlight, so there's nothing for them to do. They don't have to download anything like GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is sometimes problematic because people have to download these things, and sometimes they don't have permissions and things like that. Now, if they're not a Windows or Microsoft user, they may have to download this simple applet for Silverlight that allows them to get into Link, but I don't think it's part of like admin controls and they can't do it. Yeah, I've never had a problem where somebody couldn't actually download that. Now, the only just for troubleshooting purposes, if somebody has a problem seeing your screen or accessing, tell them to just enable pop-ups. If their pop-ups are blocked, it may make it so that they can't see what you're presenting if you're trying to present your screen. So, important note for everyone. They have to have their pop-ups enabled, and that's up in the top right. You'll see it. Because once they try to do this, usually it'll prompt something so they can see that their pop-ups are disabled or blocked. Anyway, just food for thought. Any other questions around Link?
Well, let me explain. I didn't quite explain it good enough. WebEx actually gives you a phone number, correct? So, say if you're at the house and you have a regular home phone, which not a smartphone, and you just want to basically join in the conversation, but as a voice only, does Link provide any type of actual phone number to dial in?
So no, not stock. That is something that would have to be provided as a third-party application. It's a add-on, and that was something like for instance USM would have to do and provide for everybody, which I understand is not going to happen. So it's purely web-based at this point. So yeah, there's not going to be an audio bridge such as this. So when we gave here, if I hit link meeting, I have an audio bridge here. These are phone numbers that can be used, and this is what you're talking about. And then you use this conference ID. That's provided by way of, this isn't part of Link. It's not built into Link. Now that might be something that's included in this Skype for Business coming. But for now, no, you would only have the link. You will not have audio bridge.
There are other services that will give you an audio bridge, just not connected through the Link service.
That's right. So at any point, that can be purchased and be used. So like through service, like say Intercall, which is a company that does that. So, and I have it, myself, but I don't think USM is going to provide that to everyone to have as, the audio bridge as a feature.
Any other questions?
Okay. So, and we'll have more time. So if anybody has any questions, so let's go back into the portal now, and let's go and move through. We're going to look at some other things. Now we understand what this is. We know how to engage with it. Oh, one last thing I want to show you, conversation view. This is interesting. What this does is if you have this off, it means that your emails will come in like they always have. Meaning every time somebody sends you an email, it's going to be an independent item. If I turn conversation view on, it means that if there's an email that people responded to, like there's an initial email, and maybe there were 3 responses to it, then all of those emails would be consolidated into one. They would just be threaded into that email. So there'd only be one item in my inbox, but if I clicked on it, I'd see everything threaded in the window. Just to put that out there. Now, some people hate it, some people love it. It's all up to you. I actually turn it off. I like seeing every individual item. If you want to clean up your inbox, though, you might want to go the other way. So just food for thought. Let's move on. And I want to show you calendar. Calendar is just like any other calendar we've used. It's really easy to use. By the way, everything in all these places is searchable, highly searchable. And if I wanted to create a new meeting, all I do is hit new, or better yet, just click in the day, double click into it. It's going to open this. I even have a scheduling assistant so I can go out and look for people, find attendees. Like if I wanted to find Norma, I can do that and search contacts to the directory. And I can also, again, that online meetings. Now this is all from the portal. This isn't Outlook, your primary Outlook. This is from the portal as far as OWA. And notice that things tend to be a little bit more streamlined in the OWA environment. And it's like that on purpose, because remember, it needs to be friendly on small devices, remote accessibility. It needs to be like fast and easy to use, because we're not at our desk usually. All right, so I can discard that meeting. Hey, remember we have our groups, though. We have these shared calendars. You can share a calendar with anyone by hitting share right up here in the top right. And when you share a calendar, you can choose who you're going to share it with and how much of that calendar you are going to share. And it'll just ask you, through the prompts. It's very easy. Now, once somebody has shared a calendar with you, they'll exist like this. You see, this is mine, and these are calendars that are being shared with me. Well, they happen to be the group calendars, but it doesn't matter. It's the same. You can see they're all up here, and I can turn some off or some on. And as I turn them off, see, they go away, and the content within those calendars doesn't show up. If I want to see it all, it'll all be superimposed on the same day, but with different colors. So the biggest difference is that calendars won't load side by side like they do in the full version of Outlook. Hey, that's not friendly on a small screen. So what will happen is they're just superimposed over the same day. And if I click into any day, it loads a summary over here on the right, just so I can see it. It's more manageable. I can print my calendar too from here, or sort by all these things. Let's move on. We're going to go into people. Microsoft understands things are going more social, and they're calling it people, but in the end it's still my contacts. And in my contacts you can create different groups, because look, I can hit new. I can create new contacts, contact lists, or groups in here, and then sort things however I like. Hey, notice, remember my groups that I showed you earlier? They're here too, because I have members that are in my groups. So all of these things are pertinent. Hey, but one of the great things about this is I can actually let's go into the offline global address list. This tends to be richer. Now, you guys haven't just loaded images yet, but that's coming. And by the way, look at all the USM contacts. It takes a while because there's so many. You remember I said if we were going to search for Brian, let's try that out. So we're going to look through USM. Look at all the Bryans. So I could find whichever one I wanted here. And now that's the way it would work if I were going to be in Link and I was adding a contact. Hey, and if I wanted to reach out to Brian Olson, I can email, set up a meeting, or instant message him right from here, right from contacts. So this works very similar to what we used to. It's just going to be richer because we're going to have a lot of photos, and you also have the ability to connect with them right from here as well. Remember, Link is everywhere. Guess what, guys? We just covered most of Exchange Online. The last item here is tasks. Now, tasks, if we've used that in Outlook, it works exactly the same. The only difference is it's abbreviated in the top. If I were to create a new task, let's try it, new task. Notice how it's a very simple window. Remember, small screens, easy, fast. But if I want more detail, just click Show More Detail. And I get all that richness of a task that I get my full version of Outlook. Well, the things tend to be 80% of the functionality is what you would find in the full version of Outlook, in these cloud version, in the portal, for instance. Now, one thing that's important to note is this. I'm going to back up for a minute, because we're talking about Exchange Online. In fact, we're talking about all of Office 365 and Office. Anytime I do anything in any of these environments, maybe I created a task, or maybe I sent an email, or I received an email, or engaged with an email. Whatever I'm doing, or made a change to a Word document in my OneDrive, anytime I do any of those things, that is synced across all of my applications. Meaning, if I have an email in my inbox here in the portal, that same email will be in my inbox in Outlook on my computer at my desk or at home. If I have a task in here, it will be there too. If I make a change to the task, that change will reflect across all devices. There's only one point of data. You remember, it's all in the cloud. So it's sitting on a server. There's one point of data. This is real life now. So as one point of data exists, I just have many windows to access it. Whether it's my computer for my home, my laptop, my computer at work, my phone, an app, an iPad, or a computer in China. Doesn't matter. Everything is synced. One point of data. So you can have that peace of mind that when you do something, where you make a change, it's everywhere you need it to be. Okay, so that's a really important point. Synced. Everything is synced. Guys, we just covered Exchange Online, but I have something really exciting to show you. Let's go back into Outlook. And you see this sprocket up here in the top right? That is contextual to wherever I am. So if I was in OneDrive, well, that sprocket would be contextual to OneDrive. But I'm in Outlook right now. And if I hit that sprocket, there's all kinds of things here. I mean, I can kind of change the theme and set up auto replies, like if I was away, or, my display settings and what have you. Now, there's this options down here. Now, this is the least exciting part. Hold on, I'm going to show you something exciting in a moment. But let me just show you options real quick. If you go into there, options is the back end. This is where I would do things like set up an email signature, or flag things as being block or allow things, or junk, or set up an auto reply, or set up the rules behind how my calendar works and my contacts and things like that. All of that is back here in options, and it's very easy to find. So for instance, see, it says email signature. If I want to set up an email signature, I simply click that, put it in, and now every email I send can have that signature. And all I do is hit save there. So again, to get there, you'd hit the sprocket and options. You would think that it's Office 365 settings, but it's not. Office 365 settings is something else very wonderful. Let's click on it. Now it may ask me to log in again, actually. Okay, it didn't. If it does, it could ask you to log in just for security's sake. Just log in again. And then see right here where it says software? If we click on that, this is important to note, and I'll go back over this again for you. Every single one of you, by way of your account through USM, has 5 instances of Office 2013 that you can download and install. And what that means is each and every one of you can install Office 2013 on 5 computers or devices. So everybody can go home right now and install Office 2013 on your primary home computer. You can also install it on your laptop at home. That's 2 instances. Hey, well, maybe it's installed on your work computer at your desk. Well, that's 3. You see what I mean? You have 5. Every single one of you. In order to do it, again, you would hit the sprocket, Office 365 settings, go to software, and come to this page and simply click install. I would do this on the device or the computer that I want this to be loaded on. And when I hit install, all of this will appear on that computer. It's actually very easy to do too. It's so much easier to install Office than it was back in the old days with all those disks where you had to keep unloading them and taking them out, put the next one in. It's not like that anymore. Just hit install and you'll have all of these applications. Guys, we just completed all of Exchange Online. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, let's continue. Hey, we're going to go into OneDrive. OneDrive is very exciting. Let's talk about OneDrive. Many of you are probably familiar with Dropbox or Box.com. Well, OneDrive is Microsoft's answer to these applications and serves the same purpose but has many advantages over these other services, mostly due to the deeper integration with Microsoft Office and other apps within Office 365 that other third-party applications just can't have, like Dropbox or Box.com. OneDrive is an online, cloud-based document library intended for storing and organizing your work documents and other files. It's part of your Office 365 account, and it's available to you from anywhere, anytime, and on any device. With OneDrive, you get unlimited storage in the cloud to store your files and photos, sync across all your computers, and even edit and collaborate in real time on Office documents as a group. You can access the latest version of your files from any computer, tablet, smartphone, even iPhones and iPads. No need for cables anymore or USB flash drives. There's also a syncing capability for OneDrive that creates a folder that lives on your computer that syncs to the cloud, letting you access files remotely and easily. I'm going to show you all of this. Let's take a look. Let's go into OneDrive. Now this is my document library. Now look, I put some files in here for us to play with. And it's very simple to use. I mean, look, there's not much here. Look what I can see. I can see my folders, and I can see all my files by the kind that they are. OneNote, Excel, PowerPoint, even PDFs would be in here, and you'll see a PDF. I can upload new items from my computer into my OneDrive from here, or I can create brand new content like this. Here, more of in a moment. But let's take a look at what we see. So I can see I currently have this document library. That's what it's called. But it's my OneDrive. Now, my OneDrive, again, is my files. And let me explain how you would use it. OneDrive you would use the same way you use your desktop on your computer. You know how you want to save something and you're like, oh my gosh, where am I going to save it? Sometimes we throw it on our desktop, and a lot of times IT tells you, oh, that's not the best place to put it. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. Put it in your OneDrive. Now you know it's safe. If your computer crashes, you're fine. You'll always have access to it. In fact, even if your computer doesn't crash, if you're over in France and you need to access a document, you can. You just go to your OneDrive. It's also kind of like My Documents. So that's how you use your OneDrive. Those are the kinds of things you have in there. By the way, OneDrive, unlimited data. It was a terabyte for each user. Microsoft just boosted that up so that each and every one of you has unlimited data storage in your OneDrive. Now, be careful. Let me show you the implications. I don't know if you want to put a terabyte in your OneDrive because then you're probably not using it very well. Your OneDrive is really meant to be the things that are important to you, the things you really need to have access to when you're not around, not the whole world's knowledge base in a place where you can get to it. That's different. Your university might have like file share for that, and that's what SharePoint might do in the future. All right, so let's take a look at what we see here. You can see the file types. I can see when it was last modified and by whom. Oh wait, hold on. We just said that OneDrive is your personal hard drive online. So right here we have this Northwind and Contoso document, and it was last edited on January 14th by Julian. Well, hold on. I'm Cloud Bearing Test 1. Well, Julian was able to make an edit to that document, and the reason why is because right here I shared with him. By default, everything is private, and you'll know so because it has a lock. Anything that's shared has this image of two people. By the way, everybody has a folder probably called Shared with Everyone. By default, that's going to be the only folder in here, and it really is that. It means that if you put anything in there, the whole world can see it. And the way they would see it is anytime you click on their name anywhere in Office 365, it's going to go to their profile page, and you'll see their document library, their Shared with Everyone folder. So just know that. That's the only folder that by default is Shared with Everyone. You can delete it or don't use it. But anything you create in the future is automatically private until you choose to share it. If I want to share it, all I do is click on the image of the lock or the two people like this. Watch what happens. All right. In this particular case, because I'm sharing with others, I can see who I'm sharing with. I'm sharing, I'm the owner, Cloud Bearing Test 1. I'm sharing with Mark, and I'm sharing with Julian. And look, I've given them not only the ability to view the document, but I'm allowing them to edit this document. It's in my document library. but they can edit it. This is the collaborative power of OneDrive. At any time, I can stop sharing this document too. And guess what? Remember this sliver? I can see their link presence. And here. And I can connect with them. Just by hovering over, that box will appear in your network, and then allowing you to connect with them. Or you can click on their name. And right here, I can also email all of these people, because they may be a unique group, and it's too many if I wanted to go type all their emails out, because they're not a distribution group. They're a unique group that I want to email all the people that I'm sharing this document with. Maybe it's a study group or something. Hey, if I wanted to invite people for the first time, I'd hit invite, type in their email address, give them their rights, edit or view only, type in the body of the email that they're going to receive, because they're going to receive an email with a link to this document. I could even require they sign in using Office 365 for an added level of security, or not. In fact, if security is not an issue at all, I could just go and get a link to this, a view-only link or an editable link, copy and paste that link into a blog, a website, or even email, blast it out to the world, and allow people to have access to this document. I can disable the link at any time. And again, at any time I can see who I'm sharing with. Guys, we just were trained on sharing from anywhere. So if you were in a Word document that's on your computer and you wanted to share it with other people, even allow them to edit it, because it's like this. I'm going to actually here, let's open a Word document I want to show you. And this is Word. Here's a blank document. If I hit File, Share, Invite People, you see it's going to prompt me to save it to the cloud first. It's probably going to save it to OneDrive. See, it's going to save it to my OneDrive. And once I do so, I'm going to see this. Well, who do I want to share it with? And what rights do I want to give them? View only or edit. See, Microsoft has made it so that the controls to do things are the same no matter where you are. It wasn't always like that. It was kind of confusing sometimes. Different applications work different ways. Not anymore. Microsoft's really turned around. Things are very intuitive, very easy. You'll experience that more as we go through this course. All right, so now we understand how to share. And there's a few different ways to do it. You can send a link or you can send that email. And once you do so, now they can come in, and I've given Julian edit rights. That means that Julian can come into this document and edit whenever he wants. Remember, I can stop him, but that poses some other questions, like, how do I know what he did? What if I don't like it? Let's open the document and take a look. We're going to open the Northman and Contoso document. I just clicked it. See, it said Word Online? It loaded so quickly because it loads in read-only mode. Look how clean it is. Nice and clean, nice and fast. 80% of the time, that's all we want to do anyway at first, is just open it in read-only mode. But if we want to edit it, just click Edit, Document. You can open the full version of Word, or you can open in Word Online. We know what this is. We don't know what this is. Let's open Word Online. So now when I open this in Word Online, see it says Word Online there, notice that I'm in the document, and now I can edit it. And notice there's now a ribbon. So I can have these controls to change the formatting. Now this ribbon is a little more abbreviated than the full version of Word. Again, it's about 80%. But it's okay, because if I wanted to, I can open it in the full version of Word right here. Anytime. If you have it. You see, we may not have Word on this computer or this device. But I can still edit it using all these controls in Word Online. Hey, but if I have the full version of Word, I can go in here. We might say, well, why wouldn't I just go in the full version of Word if I have it? There's a few reasons. First of all, anything you do in Word Online, watch this, if I hit File, there's no save. Anything you do in Word Online, it just is. Imagine all the content we've lost in our lives because we didn't hit the save button. I think I've literally cried in my life over content I've lost. Lots of content by not hitting the save or something happened. And that's gone now with Word Online or Excel or PowerPoint or OneNote Online. because there is no save. Everything I type just is. Remember, is that one instance of data sitting on a server, safe and sound. Everything I do is there. I can make a change right here, get up, walk out of my office, go home, open this document on my computer, and I will see that last change I just made, and I didn't touch a thing on my way out. Or I could pick it up from my phone, find that document there, and pick up editing it while I'm on the train going home. However that works. So again, there's no save. Now another good reason why I would want to work in Word Online and not the full version of Word is, remember that instance we gave that case? What if Julian were to open this document and he wants to edit it? Well, maybe I'm in the document and I'm editing it. In fact, what if we coordinated this and scheduled a time that we can work on this document together at the same time? Maybe we want to invite 6 other people to work on this document at the same time. That's co-authoring. And we can all work in this document in real time, dynamically, and watch each other typing. And we can have a link session going on where we're all talking just like you and I are right now. Hands-free, using the web. I don't even have a phone. By the way, guys, in real life here, I do not have a desk phone. I don't use that. Now, I get away with that because we have our link integrated with our phones. But the point being is, if you are engaged, if you are connected by way of the web, you can use link to connect with others through their link account or their Skype account doing the same thing. Now, we can all be in this document at the same time. So if Julian came in and he had to change this percentage, let's go back, right? He had to change this percentage, 42.3, and I had to change this date. Well, we would both be in this document at exactly the same time. I would see his name, a color, and a bracket where he was, and he'd see my name, a color, and a bracket here, and I would watch what he's doing as he's doing it, as he would be watching what I'm doing. Down here in the bottom left, I'd see something showing me all the other people that are in this document. Hey, because Sven might be in here, but he's over on page 10. That's okay, I'd see he's right here. And we might be all in a link session, maybe we coordinated it. Or, hey, you know what, Sven's in here, I didn't know that. Why don't we find Sven and invite him in? I can connect with him by way of link. Hey, Sven, what are you doing? So then we could talk by way of link. And we, again, all in real time. And guys, no save. No save, so everything we're doing just is. I already know one of the questions you have. Let's back out. Well, how do I manage those changes? What if Julian comes in and makes a change last night and I don't like it? Or I don't even know what it is. What did he do? Well, all you have to do is come to the document. You see this ellipses? Remember we said that there's good things in there? Click on it. Just by clicking on that, look what I get. I get a preview of the document. This is too small on your screen, but on mine, I can actually read this. I don't even have to open it. Imagine how great this is on a small screen. Hey, look at all these other options. It could open in full view, download a copy, print a PDF, get the embed information, see when it was last changed, by whom, see their link presence, connect with them, the exact time that they made the change, all the other people it's being shared with, and connect with them via link. Get a link to this document right here, copy and paste that out. I can open it to edit. I can share it with other people. We've already shown you both of these. I can follow it. Oh, I just did. That means it just went into my followed folder right there. But let's go back in here, because we were asking a question about what if Julian made a change and I wanted you to see an old version. Well, this ellipses again. By the way, this is where you would delete a file. You have to hit the ellipses and ellipses again and then hit delete. But this is what I wanted to show you. Version history. All the versions for this document exist here. I can go back to any version in the past, open it to view it. If I like that old version better, I might want to restore it. Meaning, it'll create a new version 4. Version 1 will still be there, but there'll be a 4 that's a copy of version 1. Meaning, the highest version number is the most recent. If I wanted to, I can delete old versions too. I can see who made the changes, what their link presence is. Remember, the colors would be here. Connect with them via link. See the size changes that were made. Hey, and they also have the opportunity to leave behind comments as to what they did when they made the version changes. This allows a great deal of collaboration. All right, I want to show you something else that's really neat. So let's say this document's really important to me, Northman and Contoso, and I'm sharing with other people like Julian and Mark. You know what? And this is so important to me. I want to know what's going on. Well, what I can do is I can go to View Properties. Now, make a note of this. This is neat. View Properties, because I can set up alerts. See right here it says Alert Me. By the way, I can also see the version history or share it with other people and all those other things from here. But Alert Me allows me to set up an alert when somebody makes a change to my document. By the way, if I search, I could set up an alert to my whole OneDrive if I wanted to. So what I can do is I can come in here, put my users. Now this is who the alert's going to go to. Hey, I can set it so that it goes to someone else too. Maybe Julian is managing this document with me. I can put other people here. I can have it come by way of email and or text message when somebody makes a change. I can set what kind of change. Anything, when somebody else makes a change to a document, when somebody else makes a change to a document created by me or last modified by me. And then I can set, do I want to be notified immediately, daily, or weekly? Or do I want to schedule a time that I'm alerted? Every Monday morning at 9 a.m. And then I hit OK, and that's it. I just sit back, and I'm alerted as people engage with this document that's really important to me. Let's go back. So now we're back into our OneDrive. Alerts. Versioning. So now again, content's safe. It's safe and sound. No more flash drives. Hey, no more attachments. Remember we talked about attachments? See, attachments are bad. Attached for a couple of reasons. One, so how many times have we tried to send an attachment but it's too big? No more. Because OneDrive, it's living in OneDrive. You're just giving a link to it. Which means also you have quality control over a document. You're the owner. If you send out an attachment to someone, now there's a copy out there. And people may be using an incorrect copy over time. No more. It's living in your OneDrive. You own it. You're sharing a link to it that you can discontinue that link. So that's a really good thing. Now let's just show you a few other things. To get new content, I can create a brand new file type of any of these kinds or a new folder. That means, again, from anywhere in the world. I don't need to have the software. I can upload content from my computer. So I just browse out, find it, just double click it, and it'll come in here. Better yet, another thing I could do is I could just open up my File Explorer like this on my computer, and I could just go and drag and drop all this content right in here, that easy. Because remember, you guys are going to have nothing in your OneDrive. The only thing that will be there when you come here for the first time is shared with everyone. Now here's what I recommend. I recommend that everybody log into the portal today. Log in for the first time. Take a look at all these things, but come to your OneDrive and immediately think about the things that you want, that peace of mind, that you know these documents are going to be safe. Whatever it is. And put them in your OneDrive. Once you do so, you might want to consider using this feature I'm going to show you. Sync. And you want to do this earlier rather than later. See, sync, what that does is if I hit this button, it means that all of these files and folders that are right here in this portal, remember I'm on the website, now become available on my computer. Right here. Now they're on my hard drive. OneDrive for Business, if I click on that, all of these files and folders are from my OneDrive, from the cloud, but a copy of them is created on my local computer. And I know that they're all synced because they have a green circle with a check mark in it. What that means is I'm here, so if I were to engage with any of the, remember this Northman and Contoso document we were playing with earlier? This is a full Word version of that document, not the Word Online. So I'm not going to be collaborating with others real-time watching them from in here. Because remember, I'm working from my computer. It's a copy of it. If I want to collaborate in real time by co-authoring with people, I have to do it through Word Online. This is the full copy of it in full Word version. But my computer is constantly syncing with OneDrive, like every 30 seconds. As long as my computer has an internet connection, computer, laptop, whatever it is, it's constantly pinging to the cloud and making sure that this version and the version online are the same. What this does allow, though, is allows a couple of things. One, it allows me to work from where I normally work. I don't have to go to the website. I can do it from right here. But also it allows me to work offline. Meaning, what if I don't have an internet connection, but I want to work on this document? Well, no problem. Because I might have a laptop and I'm traveling around. Open it, make your changes. You're going to have to hit save, though. Because remember, you're in the full version of Word. As soon as your computer finds an internet connection, you don't have to do anything. It'll automatically sync, and it'll update to the cloud. See, everything's easy in Office 365. Very easy to use these things. So it'll auto-update, and now everything's synced. Now, here, let's just bring up a point of concern, right? Remember, there's unlimited data in your OneDrive. Well, don't go put a terabyte of data in your OneDrive and then try to sync it to a hard drive that you don't have a terabyte of hard drive space. But remember, a terabyte is a lot in your OneDrive. You're probably not using it right. So consider that before you go and sync. You can go and sync now. Put a few files in there that are important to you right now. And I say sync now today. By the way, if you did try to sync 1 terabyte, that's going to take a long time. Do it on Friday as you're leaving work. So maybe it'll be ready Monday morning when you come in. That's a lot of data. So sync your library now. And like I said, it's going to create a OneDrive. It's going to be a folder with a cloud right there. And all of these items, if I engage with any of these things, anything I do in here will automatically be up here. So if I'm over in New Brunswick and I'm opening this document on some friend's computer, I know that the last changes I made will be reflected. Guys, that's sync. All right. Also consider that search. If I were to search on Contoso, this is who some of these documents have that word in it. Look, every instance of CO pops up. Not just in the title, but even if it's in the body of the message, the body of the text within that document. Search is powerful. You'll never lose content ever again. Not only that, it'll be so easy to find any content you put in here. Now look, you also have, if anybody shares content with you over time, are you really expected to go find something from a year ago somebody shared? No. Go to the Share With Me, and you're going to see all the documents that people have shared with you in the same format. You're just not the owner. Hey, remember I showed you followed? You have this followed, and anything you follow goes into this followed folder. It's kind of like favorites, my favorites. And also you have this recent. Recent's kind of neat because what it does is, look, it shows you kind of like a visual in this tile system, all the documents that are important to you that recently you've been engaged with. This is a great way to go see all the things you're working on right now that are important to you and to engage with it and open it right from here. Pretty neat. Guys, I want to entertain any questions that you guys might have about OneDrive. Any
Mark,
questions?
you have a question? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Dr. Hayden from the College of Nursing, and I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Can I sync only by folder? And what if I want to save a URL to my OneDrive? Because I've tried to do that, and then I have to create a document and paste the URL onto it.
So when you sync, here, let's go back. When I hit sync, everything in here, I can't choose some of it. Everything in this folder, I have one OneDrive. All of my OneDrive is going to be synced to my computer, whatever computer it is. And I can go to many different computers and sync to all those computers if I wanted to. I can't sync just a particular folder or a file. So that's going to reflect how you guys use that. So just keep in mind. Remember, because then you don't want to be putting a terabyte worth of data in there. Now, then as far as getting to your OneDrive, oh my gosh, there's so many ways. So it could be an app on your phone, your
That was
tablet.
the question.
You
I
can.
want, I want to be able to store a URL in my documents.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you can put in a document. You can put URLs, and each of those are even searchable.
Right, but I can't just paste the URL. There's no place for me to just paste the URL. I have to put it in a document.
Yes. Yeah. So this is actual. These are documents of some kind, even if they're not Word. So yeah, you can't. It's not a list. Okay. So I see what you're saying. SharePoint would allow you to do that, not OneDrive. Now OneDrive is part of SharePoint, but it's just a document library, and as a document library, it's focused on documents. While SharePoint, when you guys do have access to that in the future, will allow lists. And they could be lists of anything. It could be contacts, it could be URLs, important links, and things like that. So yeah, you can't use that unless you put the actual links into the document in your OneDrive. But I do have an alternative for you. So, and it's going to be OneNote. Let me show you. But let's entertain any other questions. Any other questions?
I do have one more question about OneDrive.
Yeah.
When I'm working on my laptop in the office or at home, and I'm wanting to go to my files in OneDrive, I find that I have to get to it through the Documents folder. There's not, like when I'm working on OneDrive or in Outlook Online, I have a little shortcut for OneDrive, but I don't have it on the version on my laptop. Well, the sync doesn't take you there.
We create can you go back, Mark, and show her?
So I'm working, when I'm working on the desktop in my office, and I want to get to one of my OneDrive, when I want to go to the OneDrive, or save something, it just doesn't go back. What I'm trying to say, it's not as smooth a transition as it is online.
Yeah, so yeah, because there's two environments. So and they may not be. This is like add value. Think about it. They didn't have to do this, but this is a wonderful alternative to engaging with your OneDrive, and you can do it from your computer. And yeah, it's not going to be as smooth because you're working in the full versions of these documents. So yeah, there's there's going to be exceptions, and we're going to choose. That's why sometimes, I have the portal open all the time. So, but sometimes this is convenient to actually work from here because it's just a little bit faster. So there are pluses and minuses to engaging with either one of these environments. And you're just going to have to weigh those.
So one more question, at least one more coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jennifer Brandt from the library. I have a question about the apps for these. It seems when I was looking, I have an iPhone, and when I was looking through it, is there an individual app for each thing? Like it seems there's an app for Link, and an app for OWA, and a OneDrive link. Is that?
That's a great question, and yes, there's a link for everything. So OWA is an app. So you just search OWA. That's the one you would want that would give you access to the entire portal. And you would just log in with, again, it's the same email address and password. There's also a link for, there's an app for Link. And then if you think about it, your phone or your tablet has all the same capabilities that your computer does. It has a built-in microphone, it even has video, it has a screen, it has all those things. So you can do all the same things, and you can even have your presence and be connected by way of Link through your phone. And then there's OneDrive. And OneDrive will work like Dropbox if you ever use the app, and you can see all your files and engage with them there, and it's called OneDrive. And there's also OneNote, which we're about to go into. And OneNote is also an app. And other things too. So as you guys start to engage with SharePoint, there's an app for that, and a lot of other services. So if you ever turn on any other services, you're ever using any of these other services through Office 365, those are apps as well.
With, this is Jennifer again, with the OWA app, it says that the only apps available are Outlook people, and it has a calendar notification. Are there usually, is that the only app that will be found in that? It's just Outlook, or should other apps be located in there as well?
Yeah. Yeah, so they exchange online or through that app. Now, the app is designed, so this is a good question. That is a great question too. So what happens is the app is meant to be a streamlined, fast version to get to these things. OneDrive has its own app, while OWA has the app, and that goes to Exchange Online, which is your email, people, calendar, tasks, those things. But you don't have to use the app either. So let's say that I wanted to get into the portal, like I'm looking at it on the screen right here, and I want to see all of it just like this. Would just go to the URL that we had to get into here. What was it? I'm sorry, I keep forgetting what it was.
Outlook.com/usm.edu.
That's right. So just type that into the browser of your phone, your iPhone, and just log in, and you're going to be in the portal, just using your phone, just using the internet, and then you can see it exactly as it exists here. So there's a lot of different options. But yeah, no, it's segregated. They are segregated. So if you go to OWA, it's going to be all the Exchange Online elements from OWA. Because what happens is, think about it, when you're using your phone, even if you have your email from your organization tied in with your phone, sometimes you lose capabilities like some of the deeper calendaring things or tasks and things like that. Well, that's what the portal would do. Now, you'll see your emails in your phone, right? You might have it hooked up with Exchange, and you'll see all those, but you don't have all of the capabilities. So having OWA available as an app allows you to get deeper in, so you can set up calendaring items, schedule events. You can connect a link, so you can hit the online meeting, and you can send a link out to people to connect by way of link. When I'm saying link, I'm talking about LYNC, and things like that. Okay. If we don't have any other questions, I want to talk about OneNote. OneNote is one of my favorite things on this planet. OneNote is a game changer, as is a lot of these things we've talked about today. They're going to change the way that you guys operate, the way you work. Office 365 does that. It truly is a game-changing set of applications, a suite of applications, something different like nobody's ever done before. Google Apps has tried to do this, but it's not like this. Well, OneNote too. And one of the great things about all this is they're all integrated with each other. They all play so well together. Well, what is OneNote? Microsoft defines it as note-taking software. I think that's way too simple a description for this amazing tool. OneNote's really a full-on productivity system. Though it acts well in the role of note-taking, for sure, it also does a great deal more. For a start, it's loaded with easy-to-use features that allow for the collection and creation of all kinds of content: texts, documents, charts, spreadsheets, photos, graphics, screen clippings, drawings, whiteboards, scan material, audio, video, handwriting, Visio diagrams, checklists, tags, integrated meeting notes, and tasks from Outlook. OneNote's way more than note-taking software. It's a complete productivity system, but available in the cloud, and as such, it's available anytime, anywhere, on any device, and it has a mobile app. Let's take a look. So right here I have OneNote on my taskbar. I recommend, again, everybody go back to your desk today, open OneNote, right-click it when it's down here, pin it to your taskbar, keep it there forever. When you open it, let me drag it from my other computer. It's right here. Let me get rid of this. And this is OneNote. Here, hold on just a moment. Okay, so this is OneNote right here. And you can see, well, what is this? It looks kind of like Word or something. Well, actually, OneNote is a set of notebooks. You can have as many notebooks as you like. One of the best ways for me, I liken it to trapper keepers. I might be showing my age, but if you guys have ever had a trapper keeper in your life, like one of those little binders with all the sections in it, and pages and ways to organize your material. Back when I was a kid in school, Trapper Keeper was a great way to do that. But the difference here, it's like a magic Trapper Keeper because it's digital. It can do things that we can never do in real life with an actual thing in my hand. Because I can create as many notebooks as I like. Look at all these notebooks I have. Right now I'm in just a Contoso notebook. In this notebook I can have as many sections as I want. In fact, if I run out of room, I can create a new section group. And another. It just allows me to create new tabs and sections. And if I want to go back, I can go here. And each one of these sections, I can have as many pages as I want. I can even make subpages and subpages of subpages. Meaning, I can create all kinds of hierarchy to order my content, whatever that is. What content goes in OneNote? Everything. Because when I put it in my OneNote, it's not only safe, accessible, manipulable, I can get to it. I have the peace of mind that I'm going to have fast access to anything I ever need. Anytime. Anywhere I am. Any device. That's OneNote. Right here, but there's so much more. So I'm in this particular page right here. Let's choose this page, and we're going to call this, projects. And, maybe it's, training. We're going to train on OneNote. And remember we gave that idea of a Trapper Keeper. And what I'm doing is I'm formulating my thoughts. Maybe I'm building out a project, or I'm going to start building some document. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm actually building a training. So maybe I want to go out and I'm going to use this analogy of a Trapper Keeper to do the training. So I'm going to insert an online picture because I don't have a picture of a Trapper Keeper. So I'm going to go online. I'm going to go to Bing right here, and I'm going to type in Trapper Keeper. Enter. It's going to go out and find on the web all these images of Trapper Keepers. And here we go. Oh my gosh, that is an actual real Trapper Keeper that I had when I was a kid. It has a Lamborghini on it. All I do is double click it, and now it's in my OneNote. I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, but more importantly, and I can drag it around, but it's in my OneNote, and it's there forever. By the way, guys, there's no save. If I hit File, no save. Everything I do in OneNote just is. Never lose content ever again. Now, here's where we start getting into really good value. When we've probably been using Word all this time to do work. Now, Word is a great professional document creation tool, but it's not a great thing for taking notes or formulating our thoughts or building out a project. Look, I click, type, click, type, click, type. I can drag this content around wherever I want. In fact, maybe I want to call it something, and maybe ideas for this project, like this. And I have some bullet points. And watch, if I just right click, look at all these controls I have. Let's create some bullets. This, that, those. For ideas, I don't know. And I'm just imagining there's more content there. Hey, maybe we need a to-do list. You know what? I actually want to have check boxes. How about some check boxes, right? Like this. How about I'm going to do this, do that, did this. And, I did this already. Let's check it off. Hey, how great would it be if these were tasks in my Outlook? Aha. How about right here? Outlook tasks. Let's make them due tomorrow. Guess what, guys? All three of these items are now in my Outlook tasks. If I'm not in OneNote and I go to my Outlook tasks and I engage with these, there's a link to this notebook. I can click it for my task. It'll bring me here. By the way, one of them is already flagged as done. Hey, you know what? Maybe I need to create this one as a custom task. So I do custom. Guess what? Now I'm in Outlook. I'm actually in my tasks. Maybe I want to assign this to Bob or Sue. And I want to set all this detail around it. Well, I can. And just hit save, and now guess what? That's a task in my Outlook still. Maybe over here, I want to, by the way, over here, let's say ideas. See, it says right here, see tags. Tags. Idea. Oh, there's a light bulb. Let's tag that. Now, why would I tag that? Because now I can find things by context or relevance of tags. Because I can hit find tags, and I can look for ideas through all of my notebooks. I could choose, any particular section, title, date, any of these things. Certain notebooks, certain sections, any time. Maybe, hey, I just want to find ideas that I put in yesterday. Right here, yesterday's notes. Remember we talked about never losing content ever again, but finding it so easily? I want to show you something. Through all of my notebooks, if I were to do a search on Contoso, look how fast that loaded. Every instance of the word Contoso in all of my notebooks, starting with a notebook, section, page, titles, or the word Contoso is in the body of the text somewhere, or even those items I've deleted that are in my recycle bin. Every instance of the word Contoso comes up. Again, never lose content ever again. So now, maybe I have questions. There's certainly going to be some questions around my project. So I'm going to choose the tag for, question. And maybe I would just formulate what those questions are. And look, I can drag these things around. I can move it around like this. Hey, imagine what I can do for a thumbnail library. I can create all kinds of images and have them all up here. Hey, maybe in this project, I need to import a spreadsheet or a document like the project plan. I can insert it as the printout, meaning it'll look just like it looks in Word. Hey, and all the formatting is the same. I can create something here in OneNote, copy and paste it, drop it into Word, and it'll be perfect. I don't have to touch it, do a thing. Or I can insert it as an attachment, like that. And then I just take that attachment and I just drop it up here. Oh, you know what? I also need the stats. We have some stats. I should bring those in. Oh, I don't want to insert the spreadsheet or a chart or table. Let's just insert it as attachment as well. Hey, speaking of chart or table, I do need a chart or a table. Let's create one. This many columns and rows. Here we go. And let's put it off to the side. And let's create a header. And I can insert, there, I want it wide, what have you. Hey, at any time, if I wanted to, I can convert any chart to a full-on Excel spreadsheet right from here. By the way, I could have inserted an entire spreadsheet right here where I can see it. And it lives here, meaning I can get to it anywhere in the world, even from my OneNote app for my phone. I can insert any attachment, spreadsheet, Visio diagram, screen clippings, pictures from my computer, online pictures from the web, scanned images. I can include links to other places anywhere in OneNote, links to the web, or links to my computer in my documents. I can record audio, video, date and timestamp content. I can create page templates that I can reuse. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go into my training tab, and look, here's an example of where I created a OneNote agenda, a more detailed agenda. Here's my objective, and here's the actual agenda. Some to-do items that I have to do. These are all Outlook tasks. Look, I have a screenshot of a quick start guide that I plan to share. Even a video, link to a video. And all of these images here. This is a project that I'm doing. How about a web development project? Here's the web page. We're going to rework it. We're going to get a new version of the logo. Here's some things to do. Here's a chart. Some questions I have. The objective of the doc. Supporting the attachments. All of these things. Hey, by the way, what about these OneNote resources? Look at all these great resources I have. You know what? This would be great to share with you guys. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. All of these resources I'm going to share with everybody who's in this meeting. Well, anybody who's actually joined the meeting. So, meaning by way of the link. So, but let me show you a good case of how we can use this, another good example. Let's go to a new page, and let's say that we have a meeting. We all have meetings. Well, all you have to do is go to Home, and let's say we have a meeting like the one we're having right now. See it says Meeting Details? I click on this Meeting Details, and I find the meeting we're in. Oh, there it is. Office 365 End User Training USM Session 1 from 12 to 2. Click on it. Guess what? Outlook is integrated with OneNote. It went out to Outlook, found this meeting, automatically titled the meeting here, and it has all of these details. Like even the agenda, if I want to read it off to people, and I can collapse that, and then I can see all the people. Yeah, Jennifer was here, and Kelly, and Norma, all these people were here, Valerie, and then I can collapse that when that's done, and then I can start taking notes. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. I needed this all along. This would have been great to have a year ago. All these times we've had meetings, but look what I'm doing. This is archaic. This is so 20th century. I'm actually entering notes, and it's taking all my time. I can't really focus on the meeting. Which, by the way, through this meeting, maybe I'm connected with some people by way of link. Some people are across the desk from me, and they have their own laptops here. Guess what? I can hit File, and I can share this notebook and invite other people into it. Real-time, co-authoring, collaboration. They have access to the notebook. They can come in, and we're all going to be typing, creating, watching each other, all in real time. Some people are over in Oklahoma. Some people are right across from me. Some people are in the next building. Doesn't matter. The way we mash up all these different applications like Link and OneDrive and OneNote, we can do all kinds of things. And look, the share, it works the same way as I showed you before. Can edit or view only. And by giving them access, they can come into this document. We're all in the document now. I can expand this box or make it smaller. You know, I can import things, remember, like images. But you know what? Remember I said this is 20th century? I can't take notes. This is awful. Let's record audio. My laptop or my computer might have a microphone attached to it or built into it. I just hit record audio, and a new attachment appears. It's an audio attachment. It's recording everything that's being said. Or a video. So now I'm hands-free. Now we can focus on what the meeting's about. We can insert spreadsheets and attachments and all those other things like this, the presentation, like that. And, you know, maybe, oh, you know what? Actually, let's not do that. Let's get rid of this. And let's say that those training resources I showed you earlier were relevant. Meaning these right here. We're going to copy that and go back to our meeting. And I'm going to paste these right in. Here we go. We have some attachments. Maybe I'm a little OCD. Maybe I want to draw like a box around these. Create some order to them, like that. Colors, thickness, erase. Hey, by the way, if I draw something and bring it in, I can convert to font. So I can convert ink to text. It'll read an M that's written by hand and turn it into a font M. By the way, as I share this out with people and I want to see what people are doing over time, I can go and find by author or find recent edits by any time. Anything that's been done since yesterday or the last 6 months or that Bob did. Because I can have, give me everything that Bob did by in any notebook or section or by any amount of time. In fact, maybe I want page versions. Give me all these versions of the notebook. Because guess what? You know what? I deleted an old version. I can always recycle it. I go here to my notebook recycle bin, and I can revive anything for 60 days that I've deleted. I could password protect any section. This is really neat too. So imagine that I want to share a notebook out, and you can't share just a section. You have to share the entire notebook. You share out the notebook with everybody. You can password protect a particular section in that. You can zoom out. You can create college rule lines. You can create graph paper, or even dock this notebook to your desktop so you can create notes. So you have it docked where it sits on your desktop on the right margin, and you're taking notes as you're flipping around through all kinds of different content on the left. OneNote is a very powerful tool. Let's go back. I want to show you this notebook. Let's get rid of that. And here we go. So now, remember we have this meeting here. If I wanted to email that, I just hit email. And look what it does. It auto-creates this. Everybody in this meeting is automatically included, and all the attachments, and all of the body is exactly as it was, and I hit send. By the way, everybody who I just sent that to, you just got these 3 great resources on how to use OneNote. And you guys can use them. If you guys don't have them already, you can share them out with your users. But I can email any page. I can also export any content. OneNote also has, where'd it go? Here we go. OneNote Classbooks. There's an app for student notebooks, for teachers to use OneNote to engage with students. And you can even create templates like this weekly assignments that I can then reuse over and over again. Guys, we're running out of time, and I really wanted to engage questions. Does anybody have any questions about OneNote? OneNote is really powerful. You really have to think about how you might want to use it.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. I don't think we have any questions right now.
Okay, that's great. I do have to go. We recorded the session. We'll have a copy of it. Think about OneNote, and everybody go open that today and try to use it and pin it to your taskbar. It's been a great pleasure working with you today. I think that these tools that we've introduced are very powerful, and you need to give them a try and start using them. The more that we start using them, the more that they become of value to us.
Well, thank you, Mark. I'd like to say how much we appreciate your time. I can't begin to guess how many times Mark has done the training, so I really appreciate his enthusiasm for his topics. And we do have this recorded, so this is something that you will have access to, because I know it's a lot to take in at one time. But thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Have a good day.